statistical process control, where the population standard deviation is unknown and we estimate it using the mean variance. This is an alternative method to the previous video where we used the mean range. So our context, and we're going to use the mean variance to estimate the population standard deviation because it's unknown. The population mean is given. We're taking random samples of size 4 at regular intervals. So we have 8 samples. Each one has 4 values. So each sample is of size 4. So sample 1, we calculate the standard deviation. Option 4, 1.44 rounded. And then we do the same for sample 2. We put this data into the calculator and work out the standard deviation, and for 3 and for all 8 samples. And then focusing just on the standard deviations for each sample, we're going to calculate the mean variance. But remember, these are standard deviations. We have to square each of these values to get a variance. To work out the mean variance means you're going to add up all those variances and then divide by 8. There are 8 values here. So here's the first variance. Take the standard deviation, square it. Here's the second one. Take this value, square it, and we should do the same with all the others. To work out the mean, there's 8, so divide by 8. And that gives us this mean variance. To estimate the standard deviation, we take this variance and we square root it. So here is our estimated value for the population standard deviation. So we can use this value in all of the subsequent calculations that we do. For example, working out the control limits for the means, warning limits 95%, action limits 99.8%, and this is the population standard deviation in the calculations, and we're going to use our estimated value instead. Here's an alternative way of thinking about the problem where we're estimating the standard deviation. It's exactly the same calculation, but you can think of it in terms of this formula. And in the formula here, the 8 is the number of samples. It's not the individual sample sizes. We had 8 samples in total,